Hola clase, hoy vamos a repasar las comparaciones desiguales y esta información está en página 22 en el libro también si necesitan el libro para ayudarles, ¿ok? Ahora vamos a completar los apuntes. Ok, primero, we use unequal comparisons to compare differences between people and between things. In order to do so, we're going to use the word más plus an adjective, an adverb, or a noun, and then the word que. Por ejemplo, ella tiene más dinero que él. Ellos son más generosos que yo. Tú cantas más alto que yo. And one thing I want to make sure that you realize when you look at this, for example, here we're going to, when we describe using an adjective, remember adjectives need to agree with the noun they're referring to. So it's always the first noun. This is ellos generosos, okay? So we have an example of comparing things with a noun, dinero, with an adjective, okay? And here it's an adverb, so saying louder. We use them to compare differences in qualities. So what does that mean? We're going to use the word más again with an adjective or an adverb plus que. Por ejemplo, María es más alta que Juan. When we want to say less than, we'll use menos, an adjective, an adverb, or adverb, excuse me, plus que. Paco es menos estudioso que Josefina. Okay, again here we're comparing two people and we're also using an adjective in this case as well. So when we use adjectives, we need to make sure that it agrees with the noun it's referring to. In this situation, we're going to make sure we focus on the first noun. So the first noun is female, so it's alta. Here the first noun is a female, or excuse me, a male, so it's going to be estudioso. Okay, so when comparing two people or things, make sure the adjective agrees with the first noun mentioned. We also use them to compare differences in actions. So here's using verbs more often than not. So again, we use más, then an adverb, and que. So Ruth corre más rápido que Fernando. She runs faster. Here we're just describing the action, or comparing the action, excuse me. To say less, Diego corre menos lento que Felipe. Okay, so less than. To compare differences in amounts, again, más plus a noun and then que. Gloria tiene más libros que Cristobal. With menos, to say less, would be menos más sustantivo más que. Diego tiene menos camisas que Felipe. Okay? It's actually correct to say that Diego has fewer t-shirts than Felipe, but less. I'm using based on the word. Okay? Un poco práctica. So what words are missing? Looking at the sentences here. Mi hermana es alta, Juana es baja. So we're comparing mi hermana and Juana. So what would you put in these spaces? So take a moment to complete the practice. Okay, so we're going to take a look. Mi hermana es más alta que yo. Okay, again, I'm going to refer to the first noun here to use whether it's masculine or feminine. Okay, Juana es menos alta que mi hermana. Ella corre muy rápido, pero él corre muy lento. So, él corre menos rápido que ella. Ella corre más rápido que él. Nosotros tenemos 10 libros y ellas tienen 5. Okay, here we're talking about amount. So, nosotros tenemos más libros que ellos. Ellos tienen menos libros que nosotros. Okay, once you understand the formula, it's pretty easy. Okay, moving on. We talk about unequal comparisons between actions. So again, we start with a verb, más, and then que to say more than. Okay? Por ejemplo, los estudiantes hablan más que la profesora. So they speak more than the teacher. The Lakers win more than the Sabres. And I may have spelled that wrong. Lo siento. Okay? Más que. To say less than, it's the same idea, but menos que. Verbo menos que. María estudia menos que Juan, which is Maria studies less than Juan. Okay, again, here it's the using a verb and then más que o menos que. Una práctica. Okay, press pause to go through and take some time to do this. Okay, yo corro mucho, ella no corre mucho. Entonces, yo corro más que ella. Ella estudia todos los días, yo estudio 2 días a la semana. Yo estudio menos que ella. Y finalmente, nosotros comemos 4 veces al día, ella come 6. Nosotros comemos menos que ella. Okay, almost done. With the regular comparative words. Okay, now is when we're going to say older than, younger than. You guys have learned this as well. So, mayor que. Ricardo es mayor que Antonio. Now, some people want to say Ricardo es más viejo que Antonio, okay? But in order to say older than, this is the proper way to do it. Ricardo es mayor que Antonio. Menor que, to say younger than. Carlita y Paula son menores que Gregorio. Now, we're going to agree with the first nouns because they're plural. We need to say menores. Okay, un poco más. Differences in actions, better than, less than. Okay, Diego corre mejor que Ruth. Felipe corre peor que Fernando. I'm not sure why I just did that. Okay, práctica. Okay, again, pause and do it, and then come back and hear the answers. Okay, yo bailo bien, ella no baila bien. Yo bailo mejor que ella. Número 2. Ella canta muy mal, yo canto muy bien. Ella canta peor que yo. Ella tiene 18 años, nosotros 16. Nosotros somos menores. Okay? Okay. Now you should have a 100% complete understanding of this. No, a better understanding. So when you work on your packets, be careful to read through them properly and do the best work that you possibly can. Gracias. Adios.